Greetings, this is Oliver from Sporting Cube, and today I will be giving 5 tips and tricks that can help you get faster at Roux LSE. You should already know the basics of LSE, but if you don't, check out one of Keon's LSE tutorials that is linked in the description or in the upper right corner. So, let's get right into it. The first tip is to learn all of the EO and ULUR cases. Many people, when they do not get an arrow case in their LSE, they just spam M and U moves. Something like this. And to get an arrow like this. And as you can see, it takes a long time and it's also very inefficient. It's easier to just know what to do for each case, and that way you'll use less moves and it can save you a lot of time. It might seem hard to learn all these cases, but all these cases are really short and it's more of 3-move solutions to get the arrow, so it's not too hard. So instead of doing all these MU moves, you can do something like this. And now you have the arrow and you can just easily solve it. Now for ULUR, there are a few cases that many people do inefficiently. So one thing is right here, you have the 2 ULUR edges in the front and back here. You know, people sometimes do something like this to bring that into the bottom, and then you do that here. However, it's much simpler to just do an M2, and now you have both of the edges in the bottom, and you just solve like normal. Another case is where you have a ULUR edge in the back, like this, and then the other one is in the front here, and the corners belong to this side. And what people do is do something like that to get to the bottom. However, it's much simpler to just do M, U2, M prime, and that solves the ULUR edges. Tip number 2 is to have good finger tricks. So you want to make sure that your M moves have the right finger tricks. Like for an M, you want to use doesn't matter which hand, you could just use your ring finger and push like that for an M prime. And you can just get used to that, and if you ever want to do an M, you're going to take this and push up. So like that. And if you do it with your right hand, you like that. For an M prime, you'd be like this. And for M2, you can do your ring finger for like an M prime, and then you can take your middle finger and push like that. So it will look something like this. And similarly, on your right hand, it could be like this. Now for U moves, you just want to use your pointer finger like this, and you want to be able to do it with both hands. And for like U primes like this, you can just do that. And here, if you already use a U, with your left hand like that. And U2, you just can do your pointer finger and then your middle finger right after that. And it's good to have it to be able to do that in both hands. And you also do not really want to try to regrip, because sometimes like because you're doing the M moves, it might seem like you might be in a different difficult position to do what you normally do. So you could end up having to do that. Like normally you normally do this, but you might do that and stuff like that. The next tip is to track the ULUR edges during EO. Tracking the ULUR edges is good because it can provide less pauses after you do EO and move on to ULUR. You can go through each step very fluidly. So let's say here I have these edges right here, and I'm going to keep an eye on them. So I would do this, and that. So I know there's an edge right here and right here, and then I'm gonna do the arrow. So I'm just keep watching these, and I know these two are on the bottom. So now I just don't really need to look and pause and see where these are. I can just go right into solving it. So another example of that is we have one edge right here, and I currently do not see the other edge. So I would like just keep on looking as it goes on. So I do an N2, and I see this in the back, and now I also see the other edge in the front. So I'm keep in mind this is in the back, and I'm gonna be looking at this. So I'll solve the arrow, and here I know these two are right here. So I'll do that, and I can just go right in. At first, it might be a bit hard, so you can turn it a little bit slower, and as you get faster and more comfortable with it, you can start turning faster and then get used to it. The fourth tip is to have a more calmer turning style. This can be very beneficial to your solves. It can allow your solves to be more fluid and also make it easier to look ahead during LSE. It can prevent lockups and just overall lead to a faster solve. So you want to try and avoid turning like this. Instead, you want to turn something like this. As you can see in that last solve, it was much more fluid and smooth, and I made less mistakes than in the first one. It was also a faster solve. The fifth and final tip is to practice with Roux LSE. So what Roux LSE is that on CS Timer it'll give you a scramble, and all you need to do is solve the last 10 pieces. This is good because it can help you just focus on LSE and just keep on practicing it without having to do multiple solves over and over. So to start using Roux LSE in CS Timer, you're going to go over here and select 3x3x3. Next, you are going to go over here and click Roux LSE. Now you can do the scrambles and start solving. That's it for today's video, and thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed content like this, please like and subscribe to Sporting Cube and click the bell icon to be notified whenever we upload. See ya!